The cheapest funded account doesn't come from a prop firm but from DarwinX. We've spent a lot of money on challenges and trading robots. We spent months following prop firms' rules to get a funded account, and once we finally do, we lose it for one reason or another, hitting a big drawdown or by breaching some other rule. But now DarwinX have come up with a solution, and they are the first to do it. 100k permanent funding. I've done lots of calculations and worked out that this is not only the best but also the cheapest option, and here is why. So right in here I have one of my DarwinX accounts which has an active Darwinia Gold status. As you can see that the current Darwinia allocation is 150,000 euro. There was an investor that started following me but he stopped. And this is because I have a current huge floating loss from the expert advisor I'm trading. That is the free grid machine expert advisor from the MQL5 marketplace, which not just doubled the account. So I started it back in December last year. It reached a profit of $181,000. That's nearly 200% profit, but look at the open trades. If I click on the trade tab, you will see that the floating loss is $51,600. And that's a huge loss, and the DarwinX algorithm knows that already, and I might lose the allocation, I might lose the gold Darwinia status. But I'm not worried because I have already recovered all of the costs for the account from the withdrawals I requested. However, it's not gonna be a nice feeling if I lose the allocation. But if I were to trade this account with the permanent allocation, even if I have a huge drawdown, that's not gonna be lost. So the 100,000 euro permanent allocation says that there is no drawdown penalties. And this means that if you use a grid system and you have a huge drawdown, you will still keep the allocation forever. And for example, with this account, I have requested a performance fee of 1,236 euro, and now the estimated performance fee is 234, even with huge drawdown in the account. But if I decide to grab this permanent allocation, it will be on top of my silver or gold allocations or investors capital. Basically, it will be extra from what I have currently or what I'll have in the future. And if I click on I want it, you will see the pricing. If I want to unlock the 100k permanent allocation with just 5% profit, it would cost me 495 euro. For 10% it is 295 euro, for 15% is 200 euro, and the cheapest is 20%, 145 euro. In other words, if I want to have it, I can pay 145 euro, and once my account reaches 20% from that point, the moment I buy it, I will unlock that 100k euro permanent allocation, and it gives me an estimated target quote. So if I switch back to the 5%, my current quote is 124.84, 82, it changes all the time, and the target quote is 131, or pretty much it calculates that this is how much I will need to rise my quote before I reach this 5%. And again, for the 20%, which is the cheapest, the target quote obviously will be higher. And I honestly like the middle two options the most, especially when you have a good trading robot. Even the one I showed you with the big floating loss, the grid machine, which is a free expert advisor that I found on the MQL5 marketplace. And if we look at the statistics of the account, you will see that for less than 1 year, I have a trading history of 330 days. It achieved 127%. So the quotes are really nothing for such an expert advisor. And honestly, I'm not too worried about this huge loss. First, because I have recovered the investment from the profits I have withdrawn. But if I show you the equity, you will see that it's not really a big deal because the account is nearly 300,000 80,000 euro. And actually, if I sign out from my account and I show you the sign up fee, which is 38 euro, this is how much it costs to grab a new DAWinx account. You can go for the monthly, which is also 38 euro, but you can go for the yearly and the 3 years where you get 20% discount. So this is a one-time payment and you have your DAWinx account for 3 years. You are saving 20% on that, and if you add the coupon Petko on top of that, you are getting extra discount and you are paying 1,095 euro. But with this 3-year subscription, the 15% permanent allocation is included for free, and that makes a huge difference, guys. So if I buy it, I will get this 200 euro permanent allocation for free. And if I compare it with any of the prop firms, let's say the closest here is 80,000 euro. The price for the challenge or for the funded account is 540 euro. In the first phase, I need to reach 10%. In the second phase, I need to reach 5%. In total, it is 15%. So basically, for the same price, I can have the 100k permanent allocation from DAWinx, or I can have 2 challenges of 80,000 euro each. But the difference is that you can lose the challenges. One time in the first phase, second time in the second phase, third time in the first phase, fourth time in the second phase. And once you get funded, if you get funded, you can also lose this account by breaching any of the rules. And you have to buy another challenge and another challenge. And I can transparently tell you that I've spent over $10,000 in the last 1 year alone for challenges from different prop firms, because I wanted to review as many expert advisors as possible on my YouTube channel, and I wanted to give you the best ones so you will not fail, or at least you will have a high success rate. And after spending so much money, I barely have a few funded accounts, and probably I will also lose these because I will breach one rule or another. But now with a permanent allocation, it is totally different, and I will demonstrate it. And I'm not gonna buy it for this account until the floating loss is recovered from the grid machine, but I will actually enter into another account of mine, which is relatively new. I have started in September, and in October I have achieved nearly 5%. Of course, I'm gonna share which expert advisor I'm using in this account in a second. But if I show you the settings and I click on subscription and I change to 3 years plan, or this is 36 months, you will see that the frequency change will be effective after your next billing date, 24th of November this year. I'll click on save and continue. And once the payment is done, I will receive the 100k euro permanent allocation, but it will be unlocked after another 15% in my account, and which is the expert advisor that I'm trading in this account. I'll open my VPS and you will see that this is the golden pickaxe from Valerie Trading. I have started it on the 27th of September, and if I scroll lower, you will see that there was one loss, which was a recovery right in here, but the profit was actually bigger than the loss, and then most of the trades are profitable. Another one that was recovered successfully, and many more profits. So the total profit in the account is 8,563 euro and 75 cents. If I bring on the recording screen the track record, you will see a very nice performance. So the total return according to FX Blue is 7.7%. If I switch to the equity, you will see the true drawdowns that were recovered, but not a big deal at all. And currently there is a floating loss, I believe. Yep, there is a trade. So if I switch to the current market, you will see that there was a long trade. So I will see how this one goes. And you can also see how it goes because I will leave the track record down below in the description. So whenever you're watching the video, you will see how the expert advisor is performing. I also leave the link to the golden pickaxe from Valerie Trading trading because they offer free trial. It's nothing to lose if you test it out. So the permanent allocation in DarwinX is the cheapest funded account I can get at the moment, because if I wasn't spending 10k in the last 1 year for challenges and I just had 10 permanently funded accounts from DarwinX for 3 years, I would have 10 accounts where I have allocation all the time and I wouldn't worry about losing the account or breaching a stupid rule from prop firms, and I can actually concentrate and focus on the performance of my expert advisors. There is a nice calculator over here which allows you to calculate how much allocation you will receive in the silver stage. So if it is 2% in this calendar month, but you make 10 in the last 5 calendar months, you will see that this is 30,000 euro. If you achieve 5% a month and you make 50% in the last 5 months, you will see this is an allocation of 115 euro. And on top of that, you can have this permanent allocation. And the thing with the permanent allocation is that if you keep losing, if you keep trading the wrong account, you are not decreasing your allocation. Let's say you make -5 and in the last 5 months you've made only 5%. You are not getting allocation on the silver and probably with investors capital, but your permanent allocation will be there. If you don't have profitable results, you're not making money, you're not withdrawing, but the allocation is there. The next month when you're profitable, you will be able to withdraw profits. That's the huge difference. And that's why I decided to dedicate a video on it. So the most important for us traders is that there is no drawdown penalty. Long-term focus on the strategy. It's on top of the Darwinia allocations and investor capital. And with the 3-year subscription, the 15% is included on top of the 25% discount. And that's the long-term game. The DarwinX is a platform for serious traders that are looking to trade the account for a few years, not months. And now with the permanent allocation, I will be aiming to add at least one account with permanent allocation every month. So instead of spending thousands of dollars on prop firms that at the end of the day we lose for one or another reason, I would have 10 accounts with permanent allocations, and I can focus only on the expert advisors and the strategies, and that will give me peace of mind. And if you want to see how I achieved the golden status on DarwinX, check out this video on my side. And until then, don't forget, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.